And we're live. Yay. Okay. I'm going to move this.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Welcome to OMG. I need to write a book about that. We're super excited. I'm Bridget Simmons, life and business coach. And this is?
I am Tara Richter, president of Richter Publishing.
And we are super excited to be here. We have, I think, almost 100 people registered, right?
Yeah.
Over 80 people across the world who are interested in writing a book, either for the first time or not the first time. And there's a lot of myths that surround writing a book, right? A lot of people think that it takes forever, that they're going to get rich, they're going to be the next Stephen King. And so I get a lot of questions in my coaching practice. I've coached thousands of people that want to write a book or just can't seem to get themselves going. And so in talking to Tara, I actually attended one of her workshops because one day I'm going to write a book, so I fall into your category, and just thought to myself, you know, sometimes you need a little coaching along the process. So what better team than to have an accomplished publisher who can help you get it done, and then a coach to coach you along the way, because there's sometimes some stumbling blocks or some stories that you tell yourself or excuses that you tell yourself that really stop you from realizing your dream. And how powerful is it? Like, tell me about the emotions that you experience from people that are like, it's done.
Oh gosh, well, there's emotions all from the beginning through the writing, through the editing, because of course, if you're telling your personal story, your life story, there's a lot of emotional things that you're going through. So you're reliving these as you're writing your book.
That can be huge.
So I have authors who cry in my office. Have all kinds of different happen while going through an actual story, with the authors. So it's an emotional journey. It's an emotional journey writing it. It's an emotional journey, going through the editing process. And then once you have it and putting it out into the world and sharing your story with the world, you're really bearing your soul for anyone to go out there and read. So it is, you need people like yourself and me, pushing them along the line. Just kind of like, okay, you need to make this next step. You need to do it. But it's amazing once you actually get the story out there. You get the little boxes of books that come on your doorstep. They kind of, we compare it to like having a baby, because you put all this effort into it, and at the end you get this nice little package on your doorstep, which is the best gift in the entire world.
Rocking your book in your arms. I love it.
Yeah.
So tell us, we'll start off, I love your story about when you became a published author and how you were afraid that you were going to lose friendships and make some family members very upset at you. And it held you back, right? So tell me what happened through that process. And then are you still talking to family? Are you looking for new family members? Like, what's going on?
Well, so my first series, I've been writing and publishing my own books for 5 years. Wow. So I have my first series, which is called The Dating Jungle. If people know me, they've heard a lot about The Dating Jungle. But my very first book, it was an emotional journey for me. It was talking about my divorce, about my relationships, with my family members and other important relationships, in my life. So I bared my soul. I put everything out there. And, nobody has a June Cleaver, Leave It to Beaver type family. We all have our own issues that we go through. So talking about that, publicly and putting it in a book, I thought my family members were going to disown me. I thought my friends were never going to hang out with me again, that my ex-husbands were going to sue me, like, all those fears that bubble up. And what really happened was, once the book was out there, first of all, it was an emotional freeing type thing. It was like every time I wrote a book, it was like that baggage and, that people talk about they have, it was like gone. It was so liberating. And then when people were actually reading the book, it made, me and my family members closer. Beautiful. It made my friends understand me even more, because you don't talk about a lot of this stuff with your friends, and it got me famous and on TV and radio. So
it's that. That's awesome. So it sounds like everything, the opposite of everything that you were scared of. Mm-hmm. That was stopping you from doing it. And when you finally crossed that threshold of being courageous enough to just do it, that it was actually a brilliant thing for you and a great expansive thing for your friendships. So that's powerful.
Pushing through the fear. They always say success is on the other side of fear.
Yes.
And with books, it's also the truth.
Especially if you've been thinking about it for forever. So I know there's a lot of people, like I said, and working as a coach, I've worked with tons of clients that are like, I've always wanted to write a book, or even that they have stories that it would be cathartic to write a book. So once Tara and I got to talking, we figured it would be a fantastic combination and tag team for us to join together. So we have a lovely presentation that we're going to take you through and busting through some of the top myths to get you started and really thinking about how possible it is to actually publish your own book and it maybe even become a bestseller. So I'm going to go ahead and toggle over to our presentation. Actually, let me do this. Love technology, so we'll just be patient with me here for a second, guys. Okay, here we go. All right, so OMG, I need to write a book about that. I know a lot of people get that told to them by people that they share their story with and things of that nature. So we talked a little bit about
technology to do things much faster. Hence the whole write a book in 4 weeks. We're also a one-stop shop. So, for the traditional publishing, you would have to write the book yourself. They may come in and work with you with editors, they may not. They really don't help you market the book, just all kinds of certain things that you would have to go out and find all these different people to actually help you with. So publishing, we actually do all of that for you. And sorry, I'm having a little feedback. So basically what we do is, we can write the book for you, edit it, publish it, and then we also have the marketing packages, the social media, the Amazon bestseller campaign. So it's basically everything and anything to do with books. So it's a one-stop shop. It's an a la carte. Obviously everyone has a budget that they have to work with. And so you can choose and pick either how much help you need or, what fits in your budget.
Awesome. That's fantastic. That's pretty powerful. And I've gone to some of your events, your end of the year events, and they're really awesome. A lot of the authors that you worked with are pretty powerful, with some great stories that I've even purchased and shared. So it's exciting stuff. Yeah. And so I am Bridget Simmons, otherwise known as Bridget the Go Coach. And why I'm the Go Coach is one of my favorite quotes is, go confidently in the direction of your dreams, live the life you've imagined. And Henry David Thoreau wrote that. And I fully believe in the power of going confidently in the direction of your dreams, be it personal dreams, be it professional dreams, to live the life you've imagined, because you only get one life. And I enjoy working with clients. I've worked with clients from all over the world and helping them to overcome obstacles and bust through stories that they tell themselves that keep them stuck in not achieving the life that they've imagined and the life that they've dreamed of. I've had clients that have written books, want to write books, or in the process of it. Clients that have gone after their dream jobs, or even had the courage to quit their jobs that they're in because they aren't living the life that they've imagined. So I really enjoy pushing people past the point of their comfort and pushing them beyond where they think they can go to just open up and live amazing lives. And it's been pretty exciting to do that. Awesome. I've been coaching unofficially for my entire life. It actually became one of those things that kind of found me, that it was my purpose. But I became certified about 2 years ago, and it opened up my business, and have been working hard with clients through that, and really enjoy seeing that start to finish. Like you talked about the book being like a baby. I enjoy helping them to almost like realize that their baby is real and that it's not imagined, and that they can make it come to fruition. Not to mention, I'm a true big bookworm, so I love books anyway, and I've always loved to read. I remember back in the day, I think it was Pizza Hut used to give that book it program, that if you read the books, you got a free personal pan pizza, I think. I don't know if it was a Florida thing or not, but it was awesome. Like, they were encouraging reading, and I love food, so the two went together. Absolutely. Yeah, very, very cool. So That's a little bit about who's talking to you today. And so what we're talking about today, as we mentioned, is what are we talking about? Is the 3 common myths that aspiring authors believe about publishing a book. And there are 3 big ways. There's tons of things that I think people believe unknowingly, but one of the main ones is the royalty trap. We'll talk a little bit about what that is and how you can get trapped in the royalty trap and how you don't need to. Then we have the plan jam. That's pretty interesting in terms of a place that people get jammed up when they get excited and they may go down a path with traditional publishing houses and not really understanding what's behind that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the TikTok rock. And that reminds me of that song, like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock rock. Yeah, so that they really feel like that it takes forever to write a book. So these blocks can really get in the way. Sometimes these blocks are things that people don't understand fully, don't know about, and we'll bust through the myths and we can help you with letting you know what's reality and get you started on publishing your own bestseller right now. So myth number 1, the royalty trap. Now, this isn't some type of trap where you marry Prince William and you're stuck in royalty forever. Although
that'd be so horrible.
I think I would like that. I think they took a little break the other day with the 2 babies, and it's just adorable. But it's not what we're talking about here. So tell us a little bit about what are royalties and what do people tend to believe and get stuck with regard to myths around royalties?
So basically, royalties is the sum of money that is paid to you once your book is published. If you guys watch the Shark Tank, you know that Kevin O'Leary is always like, royalties, royalties, I want a royalty. So royalties are a passive source of income. It's something that, you know, once you did the hard work of getting the book out there, then it's on distribution channels. And when the book sells on distribution channels, you get paid a royalty. So now there's some misconceptions and myths out there about royalties, and some authors believe that you get to keep all the money when your book sells. So actually, that's false. And if you see our little graph here, how it's broken down, this kind of helps people understand how the royalty structure actually works. So for example, you publish your book, you have it on Amazon, and someone buys it for $20 on Amazon. Well, since this is a product, you know, it takes money to print the book, to ship the book, you know, and then of course, Amazon's going to take their piece of the pie. So basically what's left over from the $20, what Amazon's going to take is $11, and that's going to include the printing, the shipping, and their cut. And, you know, it all depends upon the it all depends upon the distribution channel and how much money is taken out. The farther out the distribution channel, the more money they take, because it's really just more, you know, hands in your pocket. So what's left over then is a $9 royalty. So what's interesting is if you sign up with a big publisher, what most authors don't know is the big publisher is going to take 90% of that royalty.
Yikes.
And what you have left over is about $1. Now, if you go through my company, how we do it differently is we actually take 0%. So we're not taking any of that money. We're not taking any of your royalty that's left over from the distribution channel. So we actually give you the full $9.
That's beautiful. Wow. Who knew that, like, you think, okay, book sells for $20, you would think that the author, I mean, considering other costs, would get a lot of that. Mm-hmm. But to end up with $1 at the end of it.
I know. It's just, and you know, that's why in my company, you know, our whole philosophy is we break the rules, meaning that we do everything opposite.
Yeah.
And, you know, since I am an author myself, you know, I figured this all out the hard way 5 years ago. And hearing all these horror stories from other authors, you know, I just can't take people's money from them. Like, this is your baby. Yeah. This is your story. And you work so hard to get it out there. So that's why we give our authors 100%.
That's awesome. That's really fantastic. And a big deal, because I would think that I sign with a big publisher, they're going to take care of me, and I'm all set. Mm-hmm. So I remember you telling me, we were having coffee the other day, and you mentioned you had an author that you worked with that made a good sum of money in theory, mm-hmm. but only pocketed not so much. So tell me about that.
Yeah. So, you know, these are like some of the horror stories that I came across out there. So this lady, she wrote a book, and she went with a big publisher, and the book ended up grossing $250,000 in the first year.
Big paycheck.
Great.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like finally, you know, someone who actually like made it work. And you think that would be awesome. You could quit your job. It's like, you know, $250,000. Well, after the big publisher took their cut, she walked away with only 50,000.
Out of 250,000.
Out of 250,000, she walked away with 50. So that's 200,000 that they took.
Oh my gosh.
Of her money.
Wow.
And so now, of course, they're going to push you to sell more and more and more because they're lining their own pockets.
Of course, they get the bigger chunk.
Yes. So to me, that's just not fair.
It's like book prostitution. It's like they're your pimp.
It is, and it's the same way in the music industry. Really, the royalties work the same. And so if you think, of the book publishing industry a lot like the music industry, that's why the people who make it big, like Puff Daddy, he started his own label because as the artist, you don't make any money. Right. The label's making the money. Wow. It's the same way. So in order to make money, you have to go out and start your own label. You have to go out and start your own publishing house.
As did you.
Yeah. But I give 100% of the royalties because, like I said, once again, I just can't wholeheartedly do that and sleep at night.
Yeah, no, so. That's big. That's huge. Wow. I had no idea.
Yep.
Totally had no idea.
And if people don't read their contracts or people don't ask their publishers these questions, they may not even know that.
Right.
They don't even know when they're going into a conversation with a publisher, well, how much, what are my royalties? What do I get to keep? And if you sign that contract, some contracts you're locked in.
Man, and then they're excited. So I can imagine, I know some people just sign their life away. It's like signing a mortgage. Just where do I sign? And they sign and don't read and don't know that
they're just so excited to get the book out there. They don't ask all the questions. They don't read all the fine print. I'm a fine print reader.
Okay.
I go through every contract.
I'm not.
I go through everything.
Sign it. Get me out of here. No patience. So I'd be the one ending up with $1 and crying on your doorstep. Oh my gosh. Wow. All right. Well, that's an interesting myth. That's super duper interesting. All right. So we'll go ahead and return back here. All right. So royalties. Pretty interesting stuff. Good to know. Very, very good to know.
You got to be educated, and that's really the whole thing is educating people about the whole publishing process and why we're doing this.
Very, very cool. So myth number 2, we've got the plan jam, which doesn't sound like a really good jam that I want to put on my toast, right? So this myth, myth number 2, the plan jam, is the myth that if I go to a big publishing house, much like if I think it's a pimp, that they're going to take care of me, right? That they're going to take care of all aspects of my book, particularly if they're taking 90%, that they're going to take care of the marketing of my book, the promotions of my book, and really a lot of the things that go along with getting the book out there, because you're just one person as an author, and to do that yourself would be a major undertaking. So if I've lined myself up with a big publishing house, oftentimes we don't realize that they look to you and say, okay, now what's your plan for marketing the book? And so you've experienced, you've told me that a lot of authors sign with big publishing houses and then the publishing house looks to them and then they actually come to you for help, because typically when authors are authors, they're artists and they're creatives and they don't really know the first thing about marketing a book and what that looks like and how to do it. So tell us where can we get unstuck with this myth?
Well, so that is, the myth is that you think if you go with the big publisher, they have all these connections, they have all these different ways to market the book.
Yeah.
And, and they can get the book into the bookstore. However, if nobody knows that your book is in the bookstore, no one's going to go and buy the book.
So you mean if you write it, they won't come?
Yeah, no, unfortunately, that's not how it works. And then a lot of authors do the mistake where the book is out there and then they don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And then they just think the sales are going to roll in. There's millions of books on Amazon, millions and millions. So how is yours going to stand out? And I had a friend of mine who did go with a publisher, a big publisher, and he had signed the contract. The book was ready to be published. It was a year into it. And then they came to him and they're like, so what's your plan to market the book? They expected a marketing plan from him all written out. And even if, because I do work with business owners, so we may be good at marketing our own company, but book marketing is a whole nother ballgame, it's a different thing. So yeah, they will come to you and want to know what your marketing plan is to sell the book, because once again, they're taking 90% of the royalties. They want to make money.
Man.
So they're going to make you work.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, but they're leaving it up to you to make the book sell. So, you know, for my company, you know, we're different. We actually have plans to help the authors. Like I said before, you know, it all depends upon your budget because obviously marketing isn't free. But we have social media campaigns. We'll develop websites for the books. We'll do Facebook ads. We have an Amazon bestseller campaign.
Nice.
And we also have, you know, the PR to do press releases and to get the authors on the TV, the radio, the media. So, you know, one of our examples is Karen Mertez, she actually, with her book, which you can see here, this was her book, Plaintiff 101, that we published in September. And she did actually all of our marketing campaigns.
Nice. She took full advantage,
yeah,
right?
She took full advantage of all of it, the social media, the Amazon bestseller, and the PR campaign. So when we released the book, it actually became a #1 Amazon bestseller.
Nice.
So, you know, #1 is hard to get. You can get, because like basically how a bestseller works, if you hit the top 100 in your listed category, which hers was a law category because it's called Plaintiff 101, and then it's about, you know, a lawsuit that she was part of by getting hit by a drunk driver.
Wow.
And incurring major brain damage, which she had to leave her really high-ranking position in the I always get it wrong. It's the Air Force. In the Air Force.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was her 4-year process of dealing with that. And so since it was in the law category, we were competing with John Grisham, who is a huge, you know, even though it's fiction and this is nonfiction, it's still in the law category. And we did the Amazon bestseller campaign. And so what we do is a huge marketing push the day that it launches. And she sold 355 copies, which actually pushed John Grisham down from #1 to #3.
Oh my gosh, that's powerful.
I know. It's just, and those are the things that we can do.
Yeah.
You know, we can do those for our authors. You know, I know we're going to show some of the media logos here in a bit, but I'll just show, since we're still on the cam, this is another one of my authors, Jeff White, huge book.
That is big.
Oh my gosh. This one he didn't write in 4 weeks. This one, this one took him a long time. So he's a fitness coach, and he did our marketing campaigns as well. And, you know, we got him on a lot of TV and radio. And what happened even after he ended the campaign, he got a spot on 99.1 FM, which is in, I think, like Minnesota or somewhere. Minnesota.
I
had to put that accent on there.
Yeah, you have to. Minnesota.
But because of our marketing campaign, he landed that gig where he's on every morning on the drive, Monday through Friday. It's like a 3-minute spot, but every single morning on this radio station.
That's powerful.
You know, and he's not even paying for our marketing campaign. It just all happened from that.
So it's like the gift that keeps on giving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, which is really awesome, you know, for Jeff. I'm like really happy for him because, you know, we want to help our authors. We want to do everything we can to push the book and to get the sales out there.
That's fantastic. And then they continue getting the royalties, which is beautiful and totally different from the big publishing houses. So that's fantastic.
Exactly.
Very, very cool. All right. So that's the plan, Jam. So I love it that you help them with the plan. That's fantastic because I wouldn't know the first thing to do about marketing my book. Exactly. Oh, and there's the author of the Plaintiff 101. Very
there's
cool.
Karen, and that was during the author award ceremony that we do once a year that you were speaking of, which is something also that the big publishers don't do. We have an award ceremony once a year where every author who publishes through us gets to compete with the other authors for an award, and we throw a big snazzy party, and we get a couple hundred people to come out, and that's also a marketing push that we do for our authors to get the media attention, which, I mean, I've never heard of a big publisher giving awards.
No, I haven't either. And I have
parties.
Always had fun at the parties. And I've racked up my books. I love your party every year. I get great books, and it's very cool because I get to meet the author of the book right there live. So very, very cool. And I love that Amazon.com bestselling book logo up there that's slapped on her book.
You get little stickers, these little gold stickers when it hits bestseller. So
very
that's
exciting.
Fun.
I love that. And then, wow, look at all of this. It can't even fit on the slide.
Yeah, we have gotten our authors and myself so much media attention. This is just a fraction of the logos, you know, that are out there from the social media campaign, from, you know, blogging, from, you know, doing all that, doing the press releases and stuff. You know, we've gotten major networks to pick up the authors, and ourselves. And, myself, I was just featured on BBC America. And that was from a producer finding my blog online with my Dating Jungle series.
Wow. Just by Google. So this is, let me get this straight. So with typical publishing houses, they take 90%, most of your money, you come to them with your book and they say, what's your plan to get it marketed? And so with you let them, your authors, keep the royalties, and you also have an option where they can pay for getting. We're having some technical. We're trying something new here, folks. I love it. But they can pay for. I mean, it's clearly not free, but you're not just leaving it up to them to market, and they have access to all of these places on this slide that you can expose their book to.
Exactly. And the cool thing is that since most of my authors are business owners, we're tying it all in together. We're doing the press releases, we're hitting up their companies, we're tying everything in. The book is just like another tool in their toolbox.
Nice.
So we're promoting them, we're promoting their company, we're promoting the book, we're doing it all inclusive. So basically you just pay for, once again, what you can afford, and really how much you want to push it out there.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Especially, I'm thinking of first-time authors, people who've never written a book before, don't even know the first place to start, but they have a story on their heart. They have a story that needs to get out there that will help many, many people. That's pretty exciting. All right, and so now we're down to the third myth. The TikTok rock. And I love this picture because I'm like, okay, where's the author? They've left the building and they've left all their pages that they think is garbage behind, because writing is hard. Or, actually I think, and my thing is, as a coach, and what I talk to my clients about is, things are only as hard as you make them. If you say it's difficult, it's going to be. But what I love about Richter Publishing is that, you tout that you can help authors get their book done in 4 weeks. Sometimes it may take a little longer, like with this gentleman that's on the radio now, that it took a little longer, but it's a bigger book. But the fact that this myth that people think it takes forever to write a book, and sometimes that prevents them from writing a book. I was working with a client that I was holding her accountable to writing a book, writing a little bit every night and then sending me a text when she did. And so with family and everything else, things tend to get in the way. But tell me a little bit about how Richter helps with combating this myth that writing is hard and it takes forever to finish a book.
Well, that's exactly what people think with that mountain of papers there. People think, that writing a book, it's like this huge mountain that they're never going to be able to accomplish, because you just think and see the mountain and you just get overwhelmed. And then it kind of, once again, the fear sets in, like, how I'm going to do this, where I'm going to start. Oh my God, I don't know what to do.
That's where the coach comes in.
Exactly. That's where the coach comes in and helps push you along. But actually, the funny thing is that, so this here is an industry standard 5x8 book. Now, it's not really huge. It's right at 100 pages, but a 100-page 5x8 industry standard book is about approximately 20,000 words. So you can actually write a book in 4 weeks. And how I coach my authors on doing that is, if you take the time to sit down and write every single day, and if you write 715 words a day for 28 days, that's roughly over 20,000 words. And that's this size book. Okay. And this is the only, you don't need anything bigger than this to get on TV, to get on radio, to become an Amazon bestseller. This was the size of my very first book. And I landed a book signing with CNN.
Wow.
Okay.
CNN. That's
CNN.
Huge. Yeah.
I know. And it was just a book this size. So, even though we have Jeff's here, which is massive, his is like a Bible, almost the Bible of fitness, this is great. But, it's kind of the thing, size really doesn't matter that much when it comes to books.
I've always thought differently, Tara.
But with books, it doesn't. You don't have to have a massive book. It's really kind of more about your ego.
Yeah.
When you're writing, you're like, oh, I only have 100 pages, and you want 200 or 300. You don't need that. Your first one could just be a little guidebook like this, and this is all you need. So, and 715 words a day, that's like a couple pages.
Yeah.
It's not that much. That's a decent sized blog. So if you sit down and you do it, and when I'm writing, I like to do it first thing in the day. You get up, get your coffee, do whatever, sit down, write your words, and just get it done and over with. Kind of like exercise,
Yeah.
you know? I like to do that first in the morning too. Exercise, get it over with. You don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
But the thing is it happens is like usually when you sit down to write, you get creative and then you get in the zone.
You usually probably write more than that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's that whole, like, you just got to get there. Like with the gym, you're like, I don't want to go. I'm so glad I'm here. And you start running really fast. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the thing is it's just setting aside the time to actually do it. Because, I mean, 715 words, once again, is not that much. I know people text more than that. I know people.
Collect your text messages.
Yes. You know, stop texting, put the phone down, and sit and use those words for writing.
Yeah.
Or emails or whatever. We write this much every single day.
Yeah.
You know? But, I mean, and some people, maybe you want to dictate. Maybe you want to, like, say it into, like, the phone or something and dictate it. And then that would be easier to do. But the whole thing is that you just have to take your time. You have to utilize every minute that you have with smartphones and everything. Now, I actually will write while I'm walking on the treadmill.
Wow, that's smart.
Yeah.
Double duty.
Yeah, because like when I'm working out, the creative juices really start going. So then I'm like, I got to get this down now.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm just like walking slow. I'm not running, you know, because that would be hazardous to everyone.
Uh-oh.
I mean, the person like flying off the treadmill. But, you know, walking slowly and just like typing in the notepad. And then what I do is I email that to myself. So then when I get back to the office, it's sitting in my inbox.
Mm-hmm.
I take that, copy and paste it, put it into Word, and then you start editing. Because that's the other really main point when you're writing. And like the whole point of this writing challenge and doing it in 4 weeks, you can't edit while you write.
Oh yeah, because I bet that slows you down. That's where you start building that pile of papers. Like, oh no, it's garbage.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole thing. It's just to get this out of your head and get it onto paper. Because if you go from the editing to the writing, you're switching the two different parts of your brain. So you're going from the creative side to like the logical side.
Interesting.
And then you like you put the brakes on the creative, and then you forgot where your thought was.
And then that's where writer's block probably comes from. And you're like, crap, I can't finish this book.
Exactly. Even like, honestly, well, spelling, I kind of will, just because it's underlined red sort of annoys me. So I'll like,
clear that out.
Yeah, we'll like fix that. But when I'm writing, I kind of actually call it vomiting on the page. You just go and you just let it pour from your head through your fingers on a laptop. You don't edit, don't look at it, just let it flow. And that's the point of this writing challenge, is to let it flow and you get it out. Then once you have the rough draft in 4 weeks, then you go back and you edit. Then you start cleaning up. And that's the point when you can bring in an editor. You can bring in someone like myself and my team, and then we can start analyzing it and giving you like valuable feedback as you're doing the revisions. But it's gonna so basically, like, big tip, it's gonna look messy, it's gonna smell, and you're gonna hate it.
But it's out.
But it's out of you, and it's on paper.
Yeah, and how long have some of you on the call, like how long have some of you wanted to write a book? Like sometimes it's hours and not hours, but sometimes it's years and decades and lifetimes. And now you provided a tool, which actually we have here. And if you're live with us right now, I'm going to pop it on to your page. So look to the right side of your screen, and I'm going to give you a nice little giveaway here.
So it's an outline.
Yeah, okay. So tell us a little bit about what this is.
So yeah, so what I'm giving away free is a 5-page outline that I have created that breaks down the whole book and how it's organized. Because, another thing when people start actually writing is they forget about the extra pages that go into, like the foreword, the dedication, the acknowledgments, a disclaimer. I put a disclaimer in the front of all my books. That like all characters appearing in this work are fictitious. Any resemblance to a real person's living or dead is purely coincidental. Because you just never know.
You gotta make them anonymous. Exactly.
Yeah,
like, hey, that's me. She's writing about me.
Exactly. So, the great thing about the outline is that it takes you through the book process from like title page until the very last page.
Very cool.
Of the way that it's organized. So if you download the outline, you can get your thoughts organized, breaking up your major topic and then subtopics and then tips. So then when you kind of have, all that information there, then you can go and download the writing calendar, which basically, is to keep you on your goal of 715 words a day. So you just basically write down, how many words you wrote that day, calculated up at the end, and in 4 weeks, then you'll have your rough draft done.
Very cool. And I'm going to take down the calendar, the outline, so that I can show everyone the 4-week calendar. And that's what you were talking about, that you write the 715 words a day, and then before you know it, in 4 weeks, you've got 20,000 words, and you've got to start to a great book. So these tools will be emailed to you right after the call as well. So if you didn't have the opportunity to click the download button while we're on the call right now, don't worry, no fret. We are going to send you the link so that you can download these and get your book started, which is really exciting stuff. So that's awesome that you're giving these away free to these guys. Yeah. Very, very cool. So I'm sure that at this point, some of you are maybe excited, maybe didn't know about some of these myths, feeling like you might be ready to get started, but sometimes even more fear can set in. Like, okay, wait, I now have busted through these myths. I no longer have some of these blocks, or I wasn't aware of, but I'm still a little afraid, or I don't know where to begin, or hey, I'll download the 4-week writing calendar, and guess what? I know myself, and I won't do anything with it. It'll just sit in my files, and I won't do a thing. That's where our tag team comes together, and I think we can be pretty helpful. And I love these little memes. The guy that's afraid that, hey, you're on this call for a reason, right? You're on this call because you probably have a book in mind. You probably wanted to always write a book, and here's your chance. You've got these free tools between the writing calendar and the outline. But sometimes we just need a little push. Like sometimes we know what we want to do, but we just need that outside force that encourages us, to hold us accountable, to say, hey, I'm going to write these 715 words a day. And I love this. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And so now's your chance to really pursue this dream of yours to write a book and get it out of your heart and out of your head and finally onto paper. And we're actually giving an opportunity to do that for you. Tara and I have carved out some time, especially for our callers, and we have limited space for this, but we're offering, and this is the first time ever, a 45-minute discovery session with Tara and myself. So you get the benefit of a successful publisher who's done this before, who has bestsellers on Amazon, and who can guide you through. And then your very own life coach at the same time, your tag team, to take you through this process and realize your dream of writing a book once and for all. You've been talking about it, you've been dreaming about it, you've been thinking about it. We're going to help you get started. So if you've downloaded these tools we're giving you, we're going to send you a link if you didn't get an opportunity. If you downloaded the links and you're ready to go, on Sunday, March 20th, between 11 and 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and then on Monday, March 21st, from 3 to 9 p.m., both Tara and I are carving out some time. We've got a link here that we'll publish for you to be able to schedule your slot. You have to register, though, by Friday, March 18th. That's it. We got to act now. So we'll send out this link and email. I'm also going to publish it here in our webinar, so that you can start registering if you're raring to go and ready to just lock in your time with Tara and myself. You can do it here. The link is here. Just click the Book Me button to your right. Get yourself booked. Get yourself a slot. We have, as we mentioned at the start of the call, we have over almost 100 people on this call. And we have, I think if I do my math right, that's about 11 slots, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So we really, if you're serious about this, and you're ready to go, we only want to work with people who are serious about writing a book. You don't have to have already started a book, or you could have already started writing your book, but you just want some support and some guidance to get you started. Sign up for the discovery sessions. They're absolutely free. You get the benefit of a coach and a publisher to get you started and to get you on your way with your book. Really exciting stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. We can answer any and all questions about the publishing industry, where to start, how we can help you. I know I talked a lot, how my company can help people, but obviously when it's, specific for your book, any and all questions you have, because the publishing industry, is huge, and there's so many pieces to the pie. I mean, it took me 5 years to get this all down pat with, now we have 9 Amazon bestsellers. We published 38 books. We worked with people from, Kevin Harrington from the Shark Tank. If not Kevin O'Leary, people always think it's Kevin O'Leary.
Oh, yeah.
So I know it's not the mean one, it's the nice one.
Kevin.
Yeah, the nice Kevin. So, we've worked with famous entrepreneurs. See this one. He's such an awesome guy. He's like so nice. There you go. Kiss the camera.
Very, very cool.
So, we have famous entrepreneurs. We have a great list of authors that we've worked with. They're all high-end business owners. So when we have our parties, it's a power room.
Yeah.
And that's one of the great things of publishing through us is that you get included in that. And, even the authors just love meeting each other, because that's what I try to keep my company like a family, so that we can all, get together and get to know one another and help each other out, because it's all about collaboration.
But you know what they say? I actually read the other day, I think I sent it to you, that it's not enough to have a business card anymore, that your book and publishing a book is your business card. It's the fastest way to establish yourself as a subject matter expert. If you ever want to be a speaker any place and get paid to speak, which is a pretty lucrative place to be, having a book, and even if it's your little, 100-pager. I mean, you've got it done in 4 weeks, and you can say, I'm a published author. How cool is that?
Absolutely. And that's the whole thing, is that, a lot of my authors, they're not even looking to make a lot of money from the book. It's another tool in their toolbox, is to get them on radio and to make them an expert in their industry. And a lot of the people actually give their books away for free, because, the other thing is that wholesale cost when you buy these books yourself is going to be anywhere between like $2 and $5. So $2 and $5. And I mean, think about those elaborate color brochure trifolds of how much you're spending, double-sided 4-color ink on that. And then, for maybe like $1 more, you can have a book and you can actually give it to someone.
Right.
Because that leaves an impact. I have my little books here. Can you grab those?
Sure.
That I actually will give away for free, and to my workshops and stuff, like how to write a book in 4 weeks, blog your book into existence. I mean, this one is only 60 pages. So, I mean, it's not even big enough to actually print a spine, but these are my little workbooks that I will give to people for free. Because if I can give somebody, spend $3 on a book, they're not going to throw this away.
Yeah, people don't throw books away.
No.
But a little brochure, you're like, this is taking up space. But a book, you're kind of like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, or a business card, you lose them. But a book is going to sit on their desk. It's going to be staring at them all the time. And that's why I have my colorful little images. So when people are thinking about writing a book, it's just there and it's staring at them. It's like, oh my gosh. And then, of course, in the back, we just have colorful books. Because, if they don't want to use it, then they're going to give it to someone else. And then not to mention, you have all your business information, your contact in there. It's like, this is your calling card. I keep books with me everywhere.
Awesome. And when someone's given a book, it just feels nice. No matter what the book is about, you feel special when you've been given a book.
Absolutely.
So I love that. It just adds a lot of value to your business, no matter what your business is, which is very, very exciting. Cool.
Absolutely. So are we going to take any questions?
We sure can.
I think we still have a few minutes. If anyone out there has any questions, anything that we didn't answer.
Questions about the 21st, Monday the 21st discovery session?
It's, the discovery sessions are going to be either Sunday, the 20th, or Tuesday, right?
Did we say
I don't have my calendar.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Let's go back to the slide.
Sunday's the 20th.
Yeah, so we're doing them on Sunday, which is the 20th. I thought we had said Tuesday.
I think we switched it. So it's Monday the 21st of March from 3 to 9 p.m.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't have that on. I didn't have that info updated.
I'm sorry.
So we'll have to change that in the scheduling system.
Okay.
Because right now I have it on Tuesday.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, because I thought we couldn't on Monday. So
we might be able to do Mondays or Tuesdays. So we can check that and double check, and maybe we can actually open up for some more. So
we can do that. We'll go in, but definitely, go ahead and sign up for whatever days that we have on there, and we'll make it work.
And a lot of questions about services, how much you charge, how do I make outlines? Maybe they want to go to schedule an appointment online.
Yeah, so basically, if you do the appointment, because we're either doing them Skype if you're not here in Tampa.
Maybe repeat the question. Sorry for those who maybe didn't hear.
So the question was about how much my services are. So we can actually discuss that, during the discovery session. Because basically I have a bunch of packages, and there's so many different packages and different pricing. But what I will say is that I do offer financing, and we actually finance all of our packages over a period of 12 months, just to make it easier on people's budgets. So, you know, depending upon how much help you need, if you want us to write the book, if you need us to edit the book, you know that the prices range anywhere from $200 a month all the way up to $750 a month. So it's really more, you know, getting the one-on-one so I can assess, you know, your needs and exactly what package would fit best for you.
Perfect.
And the other thing, I think, what was the other question about the calendar? Or no, the outline?
Yeah, how to organize your thoughts into chapters that flow and make sense.
Okay, well, that's kind of what the outline, you know, is there for, to help you break everything up. And that's why my outline is 5 pages. So, you know, we're going to email you the link to download the free outline from my website after we're done here. Or you can go, right now, you can just go to richterpublishing.com/resources, and that's where all the free tools are. So that really kind of helps you to take the information and, you know, and break it up. Because if you're doing a nonfiction book, which that's really what I specialize in, is we help, you know, do the nonfiction, is you take your overall topic, and let's say marketing. So that would be like, you know, you're gonna write a book on marketing. And then what I like to do is break it up into 10 chapters, just because 10 is a nice round number. Mm-hmm. So then, you know, like a chapter could be like online marketing, grassroots marketing, you know, print marketing, email marketing, and then break it down into 10, you know, 10 chapters of more information. And then in that chapter, then you break it into sub chapters, because, you know, then there's so much more you can go into depth. So you're kind of drilling it down from the big topic to the smaller topics, to then the even smaller topics with like tips and great takeaways. But that's also something, you know, that we can go over in the discovery session. I've spent the 45 minutes with authors even coming up with titles for their book. Some authors have 20 books I want to write. It's like, okay, we need to focus. which is the first one? And then, you know, and that's all stuff that we can talk about in the discovery session for your individual, you know, subject matter.
Yeah, so it sounds like you almost tailor the pricing and the packaging depending on what their needs are. If they need marketing, if they need help writing from soup to nuts, or if they've already got something going, they can jump in with you at that point.
Exactly. And that's why, you know, that's another thing that makes us different, is most publishers, you know, big publishers, you submit a query letter and you have to, you know, write this letter. And if it's not done properly, they throw it in the circle filing bin. And with me, I actually, and I didn't even realize I was doing this differently until it just popped up on Facebook one day. And I'm like, I don't even do query letters. Like, I only do phone consultations. So every author I talk to on the phone, I talk to in person, or we talk on Skype, and I sit with them one-on-one to assess if they're a good fit for me, if you know, their book is something, you know, like if we're a good fit together,
that's
and
important.
where they're at, and then I can tell them the packages that work best for them. And so I like to talk to people one-on-one.
Awesome. That's awesome. What other questions do we have?
That you guys did a very good presentation.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for whoever said we did a great job. You know, I just love sharing information, and the publishing industry is kind of a big, scary world out there. I just read an interesting blog post about it, that the publishing industry needs an ambassador.
Wow.
Like, you know, because it is just so massive, and it's scary, you know, and there's so many questions. And so that's why, you know, we're going to keep doing free webinars like this, you know, so you guys can ask questions, so you can get educated. Because for me, it's like, I really want everyone to be educated so they can make a well-informed decision. You know, some people aren't a best fit for my company and they do want to go with the big publishing industry, and that's fine. I totally understand it, but it's just, you know, knowing your choices so that you make the right one.
Yeah, definitely. And education is the right way. I work the same way with my clients, that even if we're not a good fit, I believe wholeheartedly everyone deserves to live their dream. And if writing a book is your dream, then let's help you get there and get those things out of the way that you should know about to make it happen. So I think I'm going to flash up here Tara and my contact information. Should you have any questions beyond this call, you can feel free to reach out to either one of us via email, and it's right there at the bottom of your screen. under each of our logos. So feel free to contact us. As Tara mentioned, we'll be hosting these in the future, a lot of education around publishing a book, writing a book. If it's something that you're interested in, definitely stay in contact with us both. And it was our pleasure to serve you tonight and answer some questions and bust through some myths that have you stuck in not writing your book. So
absolutely, yeah. And then I think this will be emailed out after the fact too, so people can replay it. You can have any friends watch it, family members that weren't able to. You can go back, and watch it again if you missed some of it. If you didn't get in here, on time. But yeah, definitely sign up for those free discovery sessions, because you owe it to yourself. If you've been thinking about writing a book for years, now's the time to get it done, because you don't want to wait until tomorrow, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Tomorrow's not promised. So yeah, so download those tools that we gave you, the writing calendar and the outline, and get started today, and then book your discovery session. And we look forward to connecting with you all soon.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.